What's up, guys? What makes the Scarlet Witch different from Dr. Manhattan? Well, for starters, when it comes to the Scarlet Witch, she's able to change the very reality of any universe to fit her will. Whatever she wants it to be, it will be. And nobody can change that except her. Now, how does that differ from Dr. Manhattan? For Dr. Manhattan to change a timeline, he first has to actually physically go and take something out of it. He can't just change it because he wants to. He has to literally go and either stop a certain event, change a certain event, or he has to physically take something out of it. Even from this panel right here, he is unaware of the changes that he has caused to the universe unknowingly. In which, if you want, you can read it right here, where he basically says he doesn't know at what point something that he did not only affected the universe in a way that it started creating alternate timelines and alternate realities just by every choice that he made. He didn't know how to fix it. Because another key thing about Dr. Manhattan, he really can't mess with things that he doesn't understand. And a common misconception about Dr. Manhattan is that one thing about him, he's only the most powerful thing in the known universe. Which, you want a statement, it's right there. He said himself, I am the most powerful being within the known universe. Which means there are a lot of things more powerful than he is. I'll tell you right now, once we start getting into them Sandman books, it's a lot that changes. But besides the fact that Scarlet Witch can rewrite reality for any preference that she wants, besides the fact that she has the power to reshape an individual mind, body, and soul to fit whatever need she has, he can't do that. Dr. Manhattan cannot change human nature, nor can he control it. He can't make people do what he wants them to do. Which is why in Doomsday Clock, he was having such a hard time with certain heroes that basically wouldn't lay down. They just kept fighting him. And it wasn't just the heroes that just kept fighting him. It was things like the Speed Force, which is why he had to actively take Wally West out. And even when it came to characters like Rorschach, he couldn't change Rorschach's mind or change anybody else's mind. So the only way to protect everybody or the world from nuclear holocaust was to kill him. Because he couldn't alter their mind. He couldn't make them be better people. But something she's really good at is not only deconstructing people, she can shape them into whatever she wants. Like, even when we look at the way they both create life, if Scarlet Witch wants to create a bunch of drones, or if she wants to create something living or non-living, she can just do that. When it comes to Dr. Manhattan, it's a process. He can't just recreate somebody. He has to start the process, and then he has to wait. The one thing he can do is speed up the growth process. But other than that, he is very limited on how he creates things. And that limitation is his knowledge of the thing that he's trying to create. Another thing about these two characters that make them vastly different is that Dr. Manhattan is not above the story. He himself cannot change the story, which is why the story fights him so much. Whereas when it comes to Scarlet Witch, not only is she equal to every possible timeline, and not only does she belong equally to every timeline, she can exist in past, present, and future, and has the ability to create her own universe within her own making. She basically made a white-hot room for chaos magic. But the fundamental difference between them is Scarlet Witch has the ability to change probability. She's the only Nexus being that can do that. Whatever she wants, she can do. If she wants to change the story, she can do that. If she was to simply just, what's the probability that there was no Dr. Manhattan? He couldn't fight that. If she was to, what's the probability that Dr. Manhattan became human? He couldn't fight that. What's the probability he lost his powers? He wouldn't be able to fight that. And I've read a lot of Dr. Manhattan, and what I've never seen him do is fight a character with those same abilities. So I guess I'm saying what makes them different is the fact that she can change whatever she wants. He can't. She doesn't have to have an understanding of something to alter it. He does. And while he is limited on what he can and cannot alter, she is not. Again, she was able to create an entire universe of her own making that she herself could control. He couldn't do that. That was one of the biggest problems that he had in Doomsday Clock. No matter how many times he restarted the universe would ultimately fight him. And the forces and elements of that universe would fight him. He had no control over it. And that was his whole thing, trying to understand why he couldn't change it to fit whatever he wanted. But she can.